Hi everyone, I just thought I'd pop on and do a video. A lady was asking me if I could share some of the exercises I did to get myself using my arm back after the stroke I had last year in July 2024. So I thought I'd just do a quick video just to show you what I did. And I know everyone has different ways of doing things, but this is just how I worked it, you know. So I just want to show you where I'm at now and then sort of explain to you kind of the things I did from the time I had the stroke up to now. So we're a year on. So right now this is my left hand, okay, and I had no use. It was like like that, and it just wanted to crawl up into a ball, you know, and protect itself. So that's where we started from, was having complete paralysis in my arm and not being able to use it at all, you know. And I'll just show you where I'm at now. So I can do that with my hands, and this is my left hand, the affected hand. So I can do that, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that, okay, so I can make the OK sign, I can do the middle finger sign, I can do the two finger sign, okay, so that's my affected hand. I can do that with it. With my arms I can raise them both, you know, can't really see, but I can't fully bring it up, but I can bring it up a good bit. I can do that with it. I can touch the fingers with it, okay, and you know, I can turn it. If I do it that way, I can do that with it and do that with it, and with my arms I can do that, bring it out that way. That's, now it is, there is strain, still strain here, so I'm trying to go easy with it, but so that's kind of where I'm at with it. How does it feel? It feels heavy. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you, it feels heavy. It looks kind of like I'm normal, but it's heavy. And then part of the day when I get tired, I start losing it goes kind of like spasticity in it again. But I'm working on it, you know. So, but I'm going to say to you, with any of this, use it or lose it. Start exercising as soon as you absolutely can. And it's the hardest thing in the world after being paralysed. And people are telling you to lift your arm and everything like that. And it's really, really difficult. And it's heartbreaking. And you feel useless. And you feel like you're never going to be able to get there. But I'm going to just really stress how important it is to have a positive state of mind with this, and to not let anyone talk to you about your bad arm or your bad leg. I'm only going to talk about arms today, but don't allow anyone, and don't allow yourself to talk about your bad arm or how useless it is, because your body is listening. And I'll go into that in further videos, because I've done a lot of work on this prior to my stroke as well. I had done a lot of this body talk kind of stuff. So just, you talk about your affected arm. Now initially, I'm just going to have a rolled up towel here. It's much bigger than the one I had in the hospital. So when I was in the hospital, I think it was an OT or a physio gave me a towel, a rolled up towel. Okay, now my hand was like that, and I couldn't move it, you know. So they helped me to get it around this towel. Okay, so what it does, it's hard to show you here with this on, because I'm not. Okay, my thumb is there, and what it is, it's to help you stretch out your fingers, to stop them getting stuck like that. Okay, so they gave me that towel, and they gave me two pillows in under my shoulders to keep my arms out straight, to stop it going like that. So they had, when I was in the hospital, I had two big pillows in under my shoulders and underneath my arms, and this pillow thing to keep my arm straight. But I was at the hospital, they called me back in January of this year, 2025, and they asked me to be part of a stroke education day they had there in Naas Hospital. And I was asked to talk about my experiences with my stroke and how far I'd come and all the different things I've done, because they knew I was very proactive in my healing, and I was very determined to actually get myself better as much as I could. So I was speaking with them there, and the OT there that day had an actual brace thing that sits on your arm, and it has a little kind of a plastic thing that your hand sits over to stop it from going up into a ball. Now they hadn't got that with me, someone just gave me a towel. The towel worked fine, but there is a brace you can get as well that would help you with that, you know. So really what you want to do is you want to stop your hand first going up into a ball. So what I did was, and I didn't know what I was doing really, to be honest with you, but I just knew I couldn't leave it like that. So when it was on the towel, I used to just gently talk to my hand, saying, you know, I'm really sorry this happened to you, you know, but I'm going to do everything I can to help you. And I would just try and gently massage my fingers and try and stretch them out. So I was doing that every single day. I did that as much as I could. You know, you're sitting there feeling miserable, you're feeling useless, and all horrible feelings, you know, when you're completely paralyzed. It's horrible. So I just kept talking very in my mind now. It was signed away, like, you know, in my mind, silently talking to my hand, talk to the hand, stretching out those fingers very, very gently, you know. And then obviously, you know, you've got to eat and everything like that, and you don't always have someone available to help you to eat, you know. So it was very difficult, you know. So gradually I set myself little goals with my hand. What was I going to try and do? So I was going to try, and it was very hard to grasp anything. There was no strength in my hand or anything like that. So gradually, and it took me a long time. I'm a year on now, okay. Gradually I would try to grab a sugar sachet, and initially I would say put the sachet into, you know, between my finger and thumb, and then I would try and hold it like that, you know, and try and get it. Now it took a long time, but I did manage to get. The first thing I managed to do, kind of, that I remember, was actually opening a sugar sachet. Now I was a sugar addict, I'm not anymore, but we'll talk about that in a whole different video. So I managed to pull the sachet open, and that was the big win for me. That was the first thing, you know. It took me a long time now to get butter things open, you know, but the sugar sachet was one of the first things I tried to do, you know. Then my family were saying to me, if you think you're getting better and if you're making a big effort, you're going to have to make an okay sign for us, you know. So again, gradually now, I'm going to say day by day, I kept trying to push my fingers into an okay sign, and it took time. It took a lot of time, but I managed, and they gave me a device that I could put my phone on so I could use it with one hand, you know. I have it there, I can't show it to you, it's over the other side of the room, but it's on a desk and you can slot your phone into it. It's like a gooseneck thing, and I could use my phone, and I lifted now because I couldn't lift my arm. So I lifted my arm with the other arm, and I said, look, I'm getting better, you know. And then the next challenge was, can you do the one finger salute, you know. So again, it took me a while to kind of press the hands down, you know, and get the finger up, you know. That took a bit of practice, but you know, it kept me focused, and it was fun, and it was a challenge for me, and I needed that challenge. I needed to feel normal again and have my sense of humor back, you know. So I got the one finger salute, and then they said, no, you know, you have to get the two finger salute, you know. So that's where we had a bit of crack going back and forth with videos doing that, you know. So that kept me motivated to kind of try some more, you know. From then on, it was like the OTs would say, look, I used to bring in bottles of water brought into the hospital for me, and Lucozade and stuff like that, you know, little bottles. And the OTs and the physios would say, well, look, try and grab the bottle, you know, try and just get your hand around the bottle, so you stretch your fingers. And then there was different exercises, you know, where you roll the bottle and stuff like that, and you try and lift the bottle. Now it's tremendous work. It's very hard. You have to be very determined, and there was days when you're just not able for that kind of thing. But they were the original stretching exercises I did. And then they had things, when you go down, they had a duster, and you had to try and push your hand. Sorry, I'm not showing you as well as I can here with this video. You're kind of along a desk, you're pushing your hand out straight. You're trying to keep your hand straight so it doesn't keep curling up. So you're getting it out straight. So they were using a duster to get it to roll along, say the table in the hospital or something. You're trying to get it to roll along. And then gradually you could get something else. They might give you a duster or something. It could be a rolled up towel or a face cloth as well, and just to try and push things along the table, you know, to get the fingers moving again. That's what I remember doing anyway. And then as we progressed, it was like trying to open the lid off a bottle, you know, and it was hard. You're having to do this to try and get the finger around it, and then trying to get the strength back in your arm, and that's using a whole heap of muscles as well while you're doing that. So I took every opportunity to take, you know, the toothpaste lid off, to flip a lid, all of those. I just kept practicing till I got the strength back, and it was tedious and time consuming and everything like that, but I did get there. You know. Then the next thing was I was using a Steady. I had to be brought out to the bathroom and everything like that. So the next thing was like my arm, I couldn't lift my arm to hold on to the Steady, so I was trying to hold on with one arm, you know. So they encouraged me to lift my arm onto the Steady, and of course it wouldn't stay there. So I started then pushing my hands around to grip, you know, and then bit by bit, as I did that, more and more I was able to actually grasp on. So it was a whole series of, it's literally every single day, every opportunity I could, when I felt able to actually use that hand that was affected, I did. And, you know, it's use it or lose it. The more you try, you know, and you're going to get failures as well, but you have to just say, well, I'll come back again. I'll come back again when I feel a bit stronger. You know, maybe I need to sleep, maybe I'm just too fatigued, or maybe I just don't feel like, your head doesn't be right after a stroke, you know, and it can be just overwhelming and too much. But if you just take it small little steps at a time, that's actually how I got my hand working again, you know. And as I say, some days it looks good, like it looks good, you know, but some days it just doesn't do what I wanted to do, you know. I still can't type properly. I might get 1,000 different E's with one of the fingers, you know, so like it's a bit frustrating still, but we've got a good bit. Now for the arms, because I couldn't move the arm or lift the arm, I used the arm that was non-affected and I would grab it. Okay, now I found, to me, exercise was a tedious thing before the stroke, but what I did was I put headphones on. I didn't care what anyone thought of me, because I said I have to get better here. So I would my family put a playlist together of some of my favourite, I love dance music, 90s house music and that kind of stuff, something with a good beat in it. And they put a good playlist together for me on my YouTube account, and they set up a little shortcut so I could go straight into it. And they got me Bluetooth headphones, and I had a proper sit-over headphones as well. And I would just, after my breakfast, sometimes the physios would come. They wouldn't come every day, and sometimes the OT, but you know, they come different times of the day. If I knew there was a kind of a gap in there and I had a bit of energy in me, I would stick the music on and lift my arm. And initially it was like lifting it like that, and I would move it as best I could, because I'm using the strength of the other arm. When you use the strength of your other arm or your other leg, you know, you're going to help the strength of this. Even though you can't move it, you're still helping it, and you're forming new neural pathways in the brain when you're doing this. It's very, very good. It helps with neuroplasticity of the brain. So initially it was like grabbing it like that, and then I said, can I grab it? It was obviously still like that, so I said, well, while it's like that, I will thread my fingers through like that. So I did that. So I managed to get my arm doing that, even though I couldn't lift it myself. I could lift it with the other arm. So I started listening to music and saying, well, I like dancing actually, you know, haven't danced in ages. So I started moving my arm as much as I could. It was very, very tiring. So, you know, some days it would only be a few minutes, but then gradually I did it every single day, once a day, every single day, didn't miss. And if I was only able to do it for 2 minutes, I didn't care. The next minute I would try for 3 minutes. And before I knew it was 10 minutes. And then by the time I got into rehabilitation, I was doing it for like 20 minutes a day, you know. But I just kept trying, just pushing, just seeing how far could I go with it, you know. I know this took me a long time to be able to do, you know, and that still causes strain in my left side, you know. But just initially it was like the hands like that, and then gradually I started trying to push the hand, see if I could get it straight. That took me a long time. So that was another exercise. And then could I do that with it? And could I do that? Now that took me ages, and that still hurts my arm now, to be honest with you. So they were the kind of exercises I did, you know. So holding on to the hand, I then got into a series of, you know, what can I do with it? Do you know? And then it was like this way and then this way. And listening to music, you know, obviously I'm swinging on the chair here, I should be saying straight. I usually do it, I have a chair behind me there. That's where I do my exercises in the morning. I still do this. And I listen to music. And I stretch out like that. Now, obviously, if I'm listening to music, and you know, I can do that now. And I can do this in time to the music. But if you've got a good beat and you like the music you're listening to, it really, really helps. And it takes your mind off the fact that you're trying to exercise. It's actually kind of fun. Well, for me anyway, I love movement. I love dance, even if it's only dancing in the kitchen, you know. But I can't really dance in the kitchen. I can do, the top half of me can dance. I haven't got coordination with my legs yet to actually dance. Unless I have the rollator, I can do it a little bit, you know, but it's not perfect, you know. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Obviously I do a lot of stretching exercises. Now that I can use both arms, I can, you know, do them up like this. And that one's difficult, obviously, but, you know, so I do all sorts of things to music, and I do kind of this and this. Now that I can move my arm, I do that, you know. But initially when I couldn't, I got the other arm to help me to do that, you know. And that built up muscle memory. And then over time, I was able to get this kind of movement that I have in it now. But as I say, it's not perfect. It's kind of painful here. And it doesn't always stay the way it is, you know. Anyway, I hope that some of that will help. It's not perfect, but look, it's the best I can offer at this time. So I hope it helps somebody get your hand back moving. And remember, be kind to your mind if you can. The positive, I was talking to a stroke nurse only the other day, and she said, you know, probably about 70% of your progress has been your mind, because she knew how positive I was and how determined I was to not give in to this. I kind of decided in the second week, the first week was horrific for me to be fully paralysed and having everybody do everything for me, you know. But I made a decision. I was kind of on the knife edge of despair and hope, you know, swinging between the two, you know. Because I've done a lot of healing work on myself prior to this stroke, you know. I've overcome a lot of things. And I'll share in the videos maybe, you know. But I've done a lot of this work, and then to find yourself so helpless. And then I said to myself, no, do you know what? I'm not letting this destroy me. I'm going to use it as research. I'm going to see what can I do to get myself better as quick as I can, as much as my body will allow, and my brain will allow. And then I'm going to share it with someone and see, will that make a difference to them? Will it help them in their progress? So this is what I had planned to do in that second week. And I've been up and down with this. There's been times when I said I was very motivated to continue with this. And then there's been days when I just felt so defeated. There's been up and down days where I've had absolutely no energy, no motivation to do anything, you know. And I've only just coming out of another slump. The last 2 months haven't been great for me at all, you know. Very little energy. I was trying to get onto the stick off the rollator, and then the hand flared up, you know, and then it was too painful to use the stick, and I got a hand brace, and I was wearing that, but it was still very painful. So I said, right, I'll go back on, just mostly use the rollator when I'm out walking. And then I hurt my knee. I was sat down and stupidly tried to sit down on a wall, and it was too low down for me. And when I tried to get up, I tore a ligament then in my left leg. That's the affected leg. I went and tore a ligament in the knee, and that set me back, and I had to let that heal. So that I couldn't do the leg exercises then I was doing. So I got that better, and then I ended up back in hospital for a week for observation. They thought I was having a TIA, and I came back out of there. That set me back. It took me ages to get myself back to normal after that. And then I was getting myself right, and then didn't the hip go in the other side, so then that was affecting me walking. I had to stop walking for a week as well. So I've had all these setbacks, ups and downs, and this is it. It's not a linear journey. So wherever you are in your journey, I'm thinking of you all. I know what it's like, and it's heartbreaking. It's truly heartbreaking. For all of us, it's heartbreaking, you know. But I want to give you some positive stuff today, that there is stuff you can do. And it's a long haul, and none of us know if we'll ever get to the end of the journey or what will we do. But look, try and have some quality of life if you can. Try and laugh, find things to be joyful for, find things to be grateful for, and do what you can, when you can, with whatever energy you can. And let's see, I mean, I've managed to do this, so look, isn't it possible for somebody else? At least you get some kind of quality of life back, you know. So I'm wishing you well on your journey. And if you have any questions, or if there's anything else I can help with, I mean, as best I can. I'm a survivor myself and a thriver. I like to think of myself as, on the good days, I'm a thriver, you know. So if there's anything I can help with, and I'm happy to have the opportunity, just give me purpose in my day to actually make this video, you know. So lots of love to you all, okay? Take care, mind yourself.